Hey, welcome back to Matt again. My name is Rampage and this is Gaming News. So, before I get into this article, I do want to say a few things, and, Merry Christmas is one of them. I think I said it already before, but whatever. And also, if you guys enjoyed your New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and whatever, that's cool as well. Hope you're safe. Anyway, this is going to be the first gaming news video for 2016. And it's going to be a few articles, so sorry about that. Anyway, the first article is going to be Outlast 2 is coming this fall, but won't return to Mount Massive. So, Red Barrel Games said on Twitter in response to D, okay, so I just want to know, is Outlast 2 going to go back to, is Outlast 2 going to be back in the insane asylum? Red Barrel Games responded with, no asylum this time around, we're going for a new setting. Then they released an image that kind of resembles Friday the 13th, the video game that was announced, or officially announced like last year, mid last year, something like that, but was already announced as Summer Camp. So, it kind of, I don't know, I'm getting this vibe of, you sort of copied Friday the 13th, sort of, like, just by this image, like, yeah, I don't really like that. But, I don't know, it could be completely different, it might not even be a lake house of any sort, but it just sort of looks like it would be, or like a farm of something, right, like, with crops in the background, I don't know, that's what it kind of looks like, but at the same time, I don't like this approach. If it's going to be somewhat open world, then yeah, that's cool. But if it's going to be the same linear shit that was in Outlast 1, I'm probably not going to care for it. You know, like, there was a few instances in Outlast that were really great, right? Like, the horror element was all there, you know, it had gore, had scares, all this sort of stuff at the start of the game. And then after that, it's really started to die out. Now, I'm not saying that, there was no scary elements to the game whatsoever, because I did jump a few times. Not gonna lie, I did scream a little bit. But, it wasn't overly scary. That's the point that I'm trying to get at. And, yes, I did play it with motion blur, the fucking film grain disabled, which got rid of that sort of green filter thing. Yes, I understand that. But whatever. Yeah, I don't know, there's an exploit in that game where if the player was, by the, two sort of, I don't know what they were, like cabinet things that you could sort of like crawl through. If you go through one of those and there's an enemy on the other side and they're sort of like chasing at you, like, you could basically just go back through the same way you came, through the crawl space, and the enemy will just piss off. The way that I would have done that, or made it more scary, not actually had that element of, oh, enemy does not care for you anymore, is I would have been like, oh, yeah, okay, the enemy walks away. After it goes away, out of view or whatever, it actually starts to run back at the player to break through, the crawl space. So the player couldn't do that again. That would be fucking amazing. But unfortunately, they didn't do it. Which pissed me off greatly. Because that meant that I could extremely exploit the way that they designed the game. And it took away so many scares. Like, it took away the sense of claustrophobic effects, I suppose, that the game was actually striving for, or what seemed it was trying to strive for. But, yeah, like, I'll show you the image on the screen and talk a bit about it. So, alright. We basically have a lot of foliage and just sort of like a little shack thing, but I don't know, it kind of looks like, as I was stating before, kind of like a farmhouse of some sort, because it does look a little bit larger after looking at it full screen, the hut thing I'm talking about, but yeah, people were speculating that the person on the left, the obvious main attraction of this image, is a female, and a female playable character. Now, I don't have a problem with that. I do understand where they're getting it from. It's sort of like, slender sort of leg and sort of slender arms and fingers and that. But what really intrigues me is the fact that if this is a playable character, we have a fucking weapon. If it is a playable character, that's amazing. Because we could actually use a fucking weapon this time around. But if it's not a playable character and that's just the enemy, the psycho crazy bitch, then I'm gonna be quite annoyed. Because I'm getting sick and tired of these survival horror games that have dickheads, or not really dickheads, but totally unequipped protagonists that don't really understand the idea of self-defense, because apparently you just can't pick up a bottle and throw it at the fucking dickhead's head. Can't do that. That's too difficult, Can't throw your camera at them. Nah. There was several instances like that where it was just kind of like, I should be able to do this. If I was in this situation, I'd pick up a fucking bottle and bash the bastard in the face. Can't do it in Outlast 1. Which was annoying. It was really annoying. So hopefully they changed that. They allow the player to defend themselves this time around, because otherwise it's just going to be the same sort of shit. The only thing that they would have to change that I would appreciate, that would, I don't know, make me feel like I'm actually scared, is add more horror to the game. I just didn't feel there was a lot of horror in the first game. It just wasn't scary. Like, a horror genre isn't supposed to be generally scary, but it's supposed to be gory. It's supposed to be a sort of thriller. I didn't really get that for a lot of the game. I don't know. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. The next article is Far Cry Primal won't support co-op play, and this is why. So, Ubisoft community manager Jason Paradise explained on Steam, we are focusing entirely on creating the best possible Far Cry experience for our fans, bringing the Stone Age to life and providing players with a strong gameplay experience based off of the Far Cry legacy, meant we had to reinvent our core gameplay loop. This is definitely not a small undertaking. Our focus was on delivering this fantasy which required clear priorities for the team. Okay? Therefore, in the early stages of the project, we made the difficult choice of focusing our efforts on the single-player experience. So you couldn't add a second player? You couldn't add a third or fourth player? Really? It would take so much time, wouldn't it? I don't know, I just don't really understand the idea or mentality behind Ubisoft at this point. Far Cry 3 sort of had a co-op mode, then Far Cry 4 had an alleged co-op mode. I don't know if it actually does, because I never got around to actually playing the game that much. But yeah, apparently Far Cry 4 did have co-op. But yet in Far Cry Primal, they're going ahead and removing it, because we had to focus more on the core gameplay mechanics. How's about you stop making every fucking game into Assassin's Creed? Is it too difficult? Most of their games these days are pretty much just a carbon copy or reskin of Assassin's Creed. And it is becoming really fucking pathetic. So let's hope that Far Cry Primal is not going to be the same trash as the previous games, or I'm not talking about the whole game as a whole, but I'm talking about the same mechanics, game in, game out sort of thing, just rehashed mechanics. Let's see, because we don't really know much about the game. There is that sort of hour gameplay thing. I haven't actually watched it yet, but I'll link it in the description below, so if you want to check that out, you can go ahead and do that. Anyway, the next article is Microsoft has more new IPs than ever before on Xbox One for 2016. So, according to Xbox boss Phil Spencer, who said on Twitter, or replying to a fan on Twitter who stated, "So Phil, will 2016 be good for Xbox, you think?" And Spencer replied with, "Should be very good. Shipping more new IPs, it should be IPs, but it's got IP, than we have in a long time. Good challenge to make new IP succeed." It doesn't sound like they've got more? It sounds like they've got one. Unless the article here misinterpreted or just didn't quote them correctly. Nope, it is an IP. That is, I don't know about that because the original article on WCCF Tech states more new IPs than they have in a long time in 2016. But it just says IP. IP does not mean plural. So I have no idea where they got a lot of IPs from, because he said IP twice on Twitter. He could have, if he wanted to say IPs and ran out of space, he could have made each statement on Twitter. But anyway, I don't know. I just find that really weird. That's just a quick topic there. So I'll obviously link you guys the articles in the description. But I don't know. I thought that was weird. Rise of the Tomb Raider bundled with GeForce cards starting January 7th. So it's obviously already started. You can get it with GeForce GTX 970s, 980s, 980 Ti's, as well as notebooks powered with a GTX 970M, 980M, and the desktop-based GTX 980 included in notebook laptops, which is actually quite interesting. But yeah, you can get that bundled in with any of your graphics cards or notebooks starting. It's already started, so hopefully your retailers or wherever you get computer stuff from already have them. If they don't, talk to them about it. Okay, so this next article, hopefully this is just going to be the last one. Just Cause 3's latest patch for the PC improves memory management. Cool story, bro. Still doesn't fix performance. That's it. Anyway, my name is Rampage. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know what you think about a few of the articles in the comments below. Peace out.